Welcome to 100 Yards of Football. And this is our Football Legends segment. And I'm your host, Bobby Butler. And today we have a very special guest, one of my favorite teammates of all time. And so we're going to begin introducing him by showing you just a little highlight film. Bam! There he is. Scott, I remember that hit right there, man. I went to look at his eyes to see if he was still living.
I'd definitely be kicked out of the league if that happened.
Oh, you couldn't play like that today. No question. Well, man, I tell you, you're one of the most fierce tacklers and I've ever seen in my life, man.
It was fun. I couldn't have. Golly, growing up, Bobby, you're the same way. You just don't think you're ever going to get to that level,
Right.
and you just. It's a dream come true, you still kind of pinch yourself that you were able to play and do some of the things. It's just awesome.
Absolutely, man. And I tell you, it's amazing though. We got a chance to do something that was great, but just the friendships, man, that we made over the years with so many guys. Yeah. And I know we played the same amount of years. You played 12, I played 12. Yeah. You meet a lot of guys.
Oh, yeah.
And that bond, man, it's nothing like our bond. I just tell you.
That's Oh yeah, that's a good one. I like that one.
Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. I mean, while you're in the moment of playing, it's all about getting ready for the next game and getting ready for the next season and doing all that, and you're kind of in the moment. But yeah, those plane trips, those that training camp that you're struggling every day with guys, you looking over blood, that whole blood, sweat, and tears deal, and you build stuff there that you just, like you said, it's a lifetime deal, so we went through a lot of stuff, and I think when you do that, you build some kind of relationship there that, you can't break that stuff up. So
it's something to be said for going through hard things together with people.
Right.
That really bind you together.
Yeah.
I can remember training camp back in the old days when we had 6 weeks of tour-a-days.
Yep.
And I get up in the morning, just barely stepping. How am I going to do this today?
Yeah.
And then we get out there and we do it some kind of way.
Yeah, you do it. And it's like, I kind of laugh now, because it's like now they have all these rules. You get, you can have 1 day or 2 a days, then you have to have a day off, and then you can only have one practice. And I'm like, I think I figured up one time, Bobby. Well, 12 years. So you figure up whatever 12 years times 6 weeks. It's like a year and a half's worth of 2 a day. So
that's a lot of 2 a day.
I'm not sure how much that took off my life. Had to take something off. Especially in some of those training camps. You get
I know, right?
I know. Glanville and some of those guys.
My God!
It was like twice a day. It was full go.
It was full go. There was no other way.
Yeah, that's right.
And so I kind of laugh too when I look at how they do training camp now.
Yeah.
And when they say 2 a days every so many days, the 2 a days is a practice and a walkthrough.
Right.
That's the 2 practices a day.
Man, we could have played 15, 16 years, bro.
That's my point, right?
Yeah.
Well, you were drafted out of Oklahoma in the second round in 1984 draft. Yeah. And the most amazing thing, you got picked, I think it was like the 32nd pick in the whole draft. So you were just outside the first round.
Yeah.
You could have easily gone in the first round. But when you got drafted, it was the most amazing thing. I've never seen this happen in my 12-year career. That not only did you come from Oklahoma, Ricky Bryan was I think like the 9th pick in the first round.
Yep.
We pick you in the second round, 32nd pick. And then 4 picks later, we got Thomas Benson.
That's right.
Linebacker from Oklahoma.
That's right.
Now, I'm gonna tell you something. Now that had to be special. All you guys came at the same time.
Oh man, it was and I kind of think back about that day, and it was nothing. I mean, as well as I do, it was nothing like the draft experience it ain't like it is today. So
not like it is today.
Right. No TV, nothing, none of that stuff. You got a phone call and so I knew that Ricky had been drafted, early. I knew that was going to happen. And then I got a call that actually I think the Falcons had traded up with Philadelphia to pick me.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I got that call, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, man, this is so cool because I got to play with Ricky at Oklahoma, know, and I knew him. We went to, I played. What's interesting is I played with Ricky in the All-State football game in Oklahoma.
Wow.
Senior year in high school.
Wow.
Then I played with him in Oklahoma, and then I
wow.
played with him here. So I got to play with Ricky for 20 years, in some form or another, and then Thomas, coming in. So it was, it's so cool to be able to play with those guys. And, Ricky's no longer with us, and
God bless him, his wife. Yeah.
So but it was awesome. Yeah.
Well, I tell you what that day did for me, right? So we got 3 guys from Oklahoma. Now, what it did, Scott, it shut my mouth in the locker room because I used to talk crap to everybody. We beat everybody.
Yeah.
We beat Michigan. We beat Nebraska out in Lincoln. We beat everybody except Oklahoma. I had 2 losses to Oklahoma in back-to-back Orange Bowls, man.
Yeah.
So y'all came.
I didn't play him though, so you can just. you could have talked to me. You could have talked smack to me,
but man, the guys who played in that game: David Overstreet, Billy Sam, J.C. Watts. I can go on and on and on. The great guys, Forrest Velour. I will never forget.
I was going to say Forrest Velour is the one that caught touchdown in the end zone.
He caught the game. He won the game. My last year, he sure did.
He sure did.
I tell you, that guy was a powerful tight end.
Yeah.
Listen, so
those guys, you naming those names, man, it just like when I was a kid, golly, I just think back about all these guys and and the tradition and all that. It's
absolutely.
I promise you that I was on. I watched every single minute of the game that you were playing in because I was avid. I was avid.
Absolutely. Well, listen. So you came in now. When you went to college, you didn't go straight to Oklahoma, right?
That's right.
You took a different route, and I want you to talk about that because nowadays every parent think that their kid got to play D1 ball.
Right.
They got to go the traditional route. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, I growing up in Oklahoma, I actually made All-State as a running back. Okay, and so I didn't play a lot of defense, and so I was a running back, and I grew up an Oklahoma fan. If you could have seen my room, man, in the day, it was like I had the
scooters everywhere,
the sheets, the wallpaper, man, and my bathroom stuff on the wall. I was avid, but I never could figure out because Oklahoma's pretty good running backs. You talk about Kenny King, Billy, David Overstreet, man, you got just
forever.
Why did they not want a 175-pound white running back? I couldn't figure that out. So I was like, come on, guys, But anyway, so I ended up. I did have a funny story. Is I had a offer from Oklahoma State. Okay. And that was when Jimmy Johnson was there.
Wow. Okay.
Dave Wanstead was on the staff. All those guys.
Right.
That staff that ended up going to Dallas and winning Super Bowls. That that whole staff went to Miami and all that. So they offered me, and that was really. I had 4 or 5 major offers, but that was the biggest one, and that was close to home. And so I really had kind of set my mind, even though I grew up an OU fan my whole life, that I was going to go to Oklahoma State because that was the best opportunity I had. Well, he called the week before we were going to sign, and Jimmy Johnson called and said, "Man, we had picked up a kid out of Texas, and we can only give you a half scholarship." In those days, they could break the scholarship up.
Wow.
And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. So I ended up going to junior college. I went to Northeastern Oklahoma, which is really powerful. They won. As a matter of fact, my freshman year, we lost 1 game in 2 years. Had guys just, a lot of big time players went all over the country, Tennessee, Michigan State. We had guys go everywhere, but kind of made my name there. And then at the end of those a couple seasons, then I got recruited by about everybody, so I kind of had my pick at that point. So that's how that works. So
that's cool, man.
The path is certainly not the same, and I know the way it is now. Everybody wants, it's like instant gratification, and every person thinks their child is going to go on and do whatever and play in the Olympics or do this or do that, and it just I think we as and I got 5 kids. You know, I've got that's a whole nother story, but I got 4 grown ones, as you know, and then I've got a little one.
A little one.
Yeah, got a little one, and so anyway, I think as parents, you got to rein yourself in. You know, it's just crazy what's going on, and pushing these kids to do things that they're kind of living in our shadows, our footsteps. Right. It's what we want them to do, and that's not the way to do it. So.
Well, I tell you, it's amazing to me because when I look at, and I do this by habit every Monday night game. I look at a Monday night game or any game, and I listen to, when they introduce the offense. Well, I'm Bobby Butler, Florida State University. I'm always amazed at the guys who go to no-name colleges I've never even heard of.
Oh, yeah.
Small colleges. So I tell parents, I say, look, it's okay. If he's good enough to go that far, let him go anywhere. Just let him play.
Yeah.
Brick grind.
It's so much different now, I think, that, back when we were playing, I think obviously they were attracted to the bigger schools, and they would go to those places. And I think the opportunities now for, kids that you're talking about that are like, what I would say marginal, not marginal talent wise, but they may be, it's like me. I was undersized. I didn't really start growing until I got to college, and so late bloomers. Those type kids that you just need to have an opportunity to go play and showcase. But now they're going to find you. That's the deal now. Is they're going to find if you're that if you have the ability to go and play, they're going to find you. You don't have to worry about that now. So
So when you went to the JUCO. You played with a guy from Delray Beach, one of my buddies, one of my high school teammates named Jerome Burgess.
Yes.
Right?
Wow.
And Jerome Burgess he always listened to this podcast. So give Jerome a shout out.
Oh my gosh. Name from the past. I hear you. Jerome Burgess.
I tell you, Jerome was one of the best baseball players in the history of Delray Beach. And also on the football team, I threw a lot of touchdown passes. I was a quarterback in high school. I threw a lot of touchdown passes to Jerome Burgess.
Yeah.
And he was a heck of a middle linebacker in high school, too.
Yeah.
So it just show you it's a small world that we live in, right?
Yeah. I never knew that. I learned something today.
So check this out. So I'm looking at some stuff on you that I didn't know personally, right? And so I'm just looking at some film, some stuff, and all of a sudden I see you playing this game at OU. You intercept this pass against Iowa State.
Oh, gosh.
Here we go. 62 yards for the score, man.
Yeah.
And then they start telling who the quarterback was who threw the ball. I go, no, how come I don't know about that?
Oh, yeah.
So tell me about picking David Archer off.
Yeah. Nobody Dave Archer. Well,
and going 62 yards.
We used to laugh because, Dave and I roomed together in camp for several years. And I was in his wedding. We were great friends. Wow. And didn't know Dave in college, obviously, played against him. And so that was one of the first topics when he came. He's like, I know who you are. I said, yeah, I know who you are. He always said, man, he said, you picked it off. And he said, what you did, you got to the sideline, you kind of slowed down and waited. And he said, man, there come about 7 of the biggest jokers you've ever seen in your life. Just right, he said,
oh my God.
They all want to hit quarterback. So, yeah.
I tell you, I laughed so hard when I saw it. I said, I can't wait to see David the next time. I got to bring that up. So, Scott, listen, you're one of the toughest guys I've ever played with. I mean, you're the most versatile DB that I've known in the history of the game, to be honest with you.
Wow.
I mean, you came in as a safety, right? You guys pushed the corner, right?
Yeah.
In the 0-3-4 system, we played King RSB.
Yeah.
And then in 1988, you led the league in interception with 10. That was an amazing year, but I'll never forget that year. But on top of that, you were a nickelback. So when they went third down, you went inside and played nickel, and we brought in another outside corner, and you excelled at that. And so I'm like, well, dude, this dude can play anything. But I know myself, I didn't ever want to play nickel. Don't put me inside. Just leave me out wide. That is a tough position.
Well,
So tell me about being that versatile. How you got
I
the
did
ability?
find I played a little bit at Oklahoma. I played both as well there.
Okay.
I mean, when I was drafted, I will say one funny story was that
Mhm.
I got drafted, and when I came into camp,
Mhm.
I came in a little late because we had a contract. You know how it goes back, and back and forth. And so
Mhm.
I was in there getting ready to go for my first year, and Billy Whiteshoes was on the roster,
Mhm.
obviously,
That's right.
and he was about the baddest dude in the slot that you could
Right.
ever cover,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And
No
so
question.
I made it a point. I made it a point to always
Mhm.
when he got up to go in the
Mhm.
slot, I just made a
Mhm.
point that I'm gonna get up there on him because I know that if I can deal with this
Oh, yeah.
joker here
Absolutely.
now, I can deal
Absolutely.
with anybody because I mean he was as good as there was in the
Yes,
slot.
you were. Yeah.
And so yeah, I just and I kind of think now, I was born a little early. I wish I'd been born now because, I mean, you look at safeties that could go down and cover in the slot. There's none of those guys. There's
Right.
nobody there. There's
Nobody.
nobody that can do that. And
That's
so
true.
with all,
True.
being able to play corner and safety. And then another thing is I know when Marion Campbell and his staff came in,
Mhm.
they moved me. They're the ones that moved me to corner. And
Okay.
I'll never forget the
Mhm.
conversation that I had
Mhm.
with Fred Bruni, the
Hey,
DB
Bernie.
coach. He calls me in
Mhm.
and he says, "Hey, we're going to move you to corner." I thought they were trying to run me out of town, man. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm not supposed to be playing no
No,
corner
but
in
it's
this
not
company,
corner, right?
And he's like, "No,
Oh,
we know you. We believe in you, and
right.
we're gonna move you to corner, and you're gonna do great." And and the story kind of has
Well,
written itself, but it was. I really thought at the time they were just trying to
run
get
you
rid
off.
of me.
Well, I
So
tell you, kudos to you because I'm telling you, that corner, playing corner for them,
yeah,
the way we played it, you had to be very patient.
yeah,
And for a guy who didn't play corner every day, I mean, you just took it up, man, and ran with it like you've been doing it your whole life. And
yeah,
that was amazing because I remember when Dion came in as a rookie, he really
hmm
couldn't play that.
yeah, right.
He was really not good playing that, being
That's
that
right.
patient, playing that
Mhm.
deep, and
Yeah,
waiting for it to come to him, right?
yeah,
And
yep,
so,
yeah.
so man, kudos to you in that, man. That's so.
I
So
appreciate it.
listen, I think right now, I'm just gonna be honest with you, Scott. You should be in the Ring of Honor at the Falcons.
Oh man,
Uh,
thank you.
you're the most versatile DB. I'm telling you, I know. Now, Ronnie Lott played corner, but he really wasn't a corner. He was really a guy
Right.
playing safety,
Yeah,
knocking people out.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, he didn't cover well, but of course, they won the Super Bowl. He went to a Pro Bowl or
That's
two,
right. Right.
but he couldn't play that like you. And so I give you credit for that.
I
All right,
appreciate
so you played 11 years with the Falcons. Now, this is incredible, man. This is just crazy, right? So I'm looking at your stat, right? All right, you had 30 picks. I think you're tied for third on the Falcons all-time list.
it.
But you're second in tackles in Falcon history with over 900 tackles. That's crazy, man. It don't make
Yeah.
sense. It
Well,
just
most
don't
of
make
that was
sense.
with Jerry Glanville. I can tell you that. Boy, that guy had me up there playing up there like a linebacker.
Absolutely.
And what was funny
Absolutely.
was it's like it'd be like we'd be going in at the day after the game. Everybody, here's your stats, and here, and it'd be like me
Right.
and Jesse Tuggle. I'm like, dude, I don't need to be up in there like that. That's Jesse's job up in there.
Exactly, right?
But I mean, that's how I always play. I've just always,
Right.
I love the physicality part of it. And I mean, even
Right.
when I was at corner, I mean, I kind of, I wanted to be, I didn't want to be like a lot of the
Right.
other corners
Just
that were
operate
soft
right.
or this. I
Right.
just wanted to, I wanted to
Right.
make them know that I was there.
Right.
And,
Right.
so,
Well,
I just
you did it.
enjoyed playing like that. Yeah.
Yeah, you did it, man. So listen, I got a couple comments from some fans, on the internet. I
Oh
love this.
boy.
I got two different fans, two comments. I want you to listen to this one. This one cat said this. He said, "This dude was an intimidator, but Lord, I can only imagine how he is today mentally."
Oh my God. Oh my
I
God.
thought that was hilarious right there. I gotta say, man, something's got to be wrong with him today, right? And here's another one. Here's another one. I love this one. He said, "I always remember the Niners stopped running the power sweep after that game because he blew Roger Craig and Terrence Flagler back to the third grade."
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, the
So,
first one is pretty obvious, you know. I mean, and that's
right,
still up for debate whether I'm all there or not. You know, I mean,
right.
I mean, it is funny to talk about and laugh about, but there is some serious side to that as well. You know,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
I thank the Lord that I'm not. I
Right.
feel fine. You know, I'm
Amen.
not you know, mentally. I think I'm most of the way there at least. So. And physically, you know, you play 12 years in that
Right.
league, and
You're gonna have fun.
things you got bump and bruises every single day, and
Right, right,
things,
right,
shoulders, knees, this type of stuff. So anyway, I could feel better, but I don't feel bad. Believe me,
right. Well,
I wouldn't change a thing.
a thing. That's great, man. That's great. So here's a question: could you adapt to playing the game today?
Whoa, man, that's a good question. That's
Yeah.
a really good question. I think I could. It's whether I would
Mhm.
want to or not. You know, to be honest with you, I would really, really have to rein myself back
Right.
because you know, and I mean, people said, you know, you could have had 40 interceptions if you'd went for the ball instead of a guy, and I'm like, well, yeah, but you know, but he
Right.
didn't want to catch another ball, you know, so. I think I would probably have more interceptions
Right.
and some of those stats to go along
Right.
with that, but that's just not
That,
me,
that,
man.
that
That's
wasn't
just
you.
not
That
me.
wasn't you at all.
Yeah,
That
not
wasn't
me.
you at all. All right. So, man, so you left the Falcons after 11 seasons, and as a free agent, you signed with the Dallas Cowboys,
Yeah,
and you signed with your former college coach, Barry
yeah,
Switzer.
yeah,
And I tell you, man, I got to tell you this, man. You know, when that happened, I was sitting at home, and you go to Dallas, you and Dion on the same squad,
yeah.
and you go to the Super Bowl, and both of you guys win a Super Bowl. Man,
Right.
I'm telling you, it still brings tears to my eyes today. You
Yeah.
know, you think about you guys having that opportunity after we had went through so much, right?
Right. Yeah.
And didn't even
Yeah.
smell it. We didn't even smell it. I mean, we
Right.
didn't even
That's
get
right.
close to it.
Yep.
But you know, we did pay the price and we put the time in, and
Yeah.
it really made me happy to see some of my boys, you know, get a
Well, I
chance.
appreciate that so much, and you know, in some ways, I almost feel, golly, man, I almost feel almost guilty somewhat, you know, because I mean, there's a lot of guys like me and you that toiled
Right.
and on teams that were
Hmm.
not great, that just
Right.
fought to even make the play years,
Hmm.
and you know, like yourself. I mean, you deserved an
Right.
opportunity. There's thousands of guys like that. And even when I
Hmm.
went to Dallas, there was a group of us that they kind of brought in that year,
Hmm.
older guys
Hmm.
that played on other teams, just like me, that
Hmm.
probably never really had a
Right.
real legitimate
And,
shot, you know. And there was
hmm.
a band of us guys that just really looked at each other like, man, this could happen for us, you
Wow.
know.
Wow.
And I mean, I'll never forget I had a conversation with the Falcons after my 11th year. You know,
Hmm.
they were kind of wanting to move in a different direction, and I kind
Hmm.
of felt things were kind of
Right.
not going to work out the way they
Hmm.
probably had in
Hmm.
the past.
Hmm.
So Switzer calls out of the clear blue, and he
Wow.
says, "Hey man, I want to sign you." And I'm thinking,
Hmm.
really? He goes, "Let's go win a Super Bowl together." That's what he told me. First thing out of his mouth was, "Let's go win
Wow.
a Super Bowl."
Man.
And then he asked me, a second question was, he said, how much training camp do you need? I said, not much,
I love it.
not much.
So much. I love
No,
it.
not much.
I
Come
love
on,
it.
man. And so we signed, and I ended up going to training camp for like the last 2 weeks because I
Oh,
basically
wow.
just learned the system
Right.
and physically wise, I didn't need to get
Right. Right.
beat
Right.
up. I didn't need to practice
Right.
tackling and all that stuff
Man.
anymore. I'd done my share of
Man.
that. So, and got in there, and it was, you know, the thing, Bobby, I think that's different
Hmm.
that, um, man, when I walked in that locker room the first
Hmm.
day, there
Hmm.
was like a, man, there was something different in there, man. It was
Wow.
like there was an
Wow.
aura around that, and it wasn't, nobody
Wow.
said anything. Well, I will tell you, I'll tell you one of the funniest stories.
Well,
I was the year before I went to Dallas.
mhm.
We played Dallas in Atlanta,
Okay.
and we were playing, and Michael Irvin came across the middle,
Mhm.
and man, I had a 20-yard run at him, and anyway, got him good. he got up and he jogged over to our sideline, the Falcon sideline. Was standing there.
Oh my God!
And Emmett came over and got him, and they walked back across to their locker room. So okay, so let's fast forward to me going in. So I'm very first day, I've been in the same locker room for 11 years. I was very comfortable walking in that locker.
Right.
When I walked in that locker room in Dallas, I was a little bit nervous. New place, new people, new surroundings. Just nervous about it. Walked in there, and of course they'd already won 2 Super Bowls, so they had it under control. They knew what was going on. I walk in, it's kind of quiet, and I'm looking for my locker, and everybody's kind of looking at me, and all of a sudden I hear Emmett over there in his locker, and he says, "Oh, Michael, you know who that is? Michael." He's calling it Michael over there. Saying, "Oh, you know who that is, don't you?" Michael's loud. You know how Michael is. He gets up, man. He comes over. We're hugging. And it was great story. Right off the get-go, he's going to call me out here in front of everybody. So, but it was awesome.
That's what I love about the game.
Great group of guys, and I'll tell you this. One of the biggest things with that squad was that those. The amigos, the 3 guys, Emmett and Michael and Troy.
Right.
I mean, those were the hardest working guys on the team.
Wow.
They were superstars.
Right.
Yet after practice, you'd see Michael and Troy out there running around by themselves.
Wow.
You'd see Emmett over there doing stuff by himself. Yeah. These guys had laid it all out. So it's real easy for a lot of people, for the rest of us, to follow in line. You know what I mean? Right. When those guys that are superstars are doing that, there's no excuses. And I think that was the difference for that club.
Well, that's cool, man. Well, listen, man, I want to just thank you for coming on the show. Man, it's been a blast. You know what we need to do?
What's that?
We need to get me, you, Dion, Brian Jordan, and T-Mac.
Yeah, oh gosh.
on one day and just laugh and have a great time.
Oh my gosh.
We got to do that for whole time straight one day.
Oh yeah,
we got to do that. We got to do that.
I would love it.
Well, listen, man. Real quick, tell us real quick what you're doing now. I know you're in business with Primemore, but let the people know what you're doing.
Yeah, we've owned a pipeline company. We do natural gas pipeline work all over the Southeast. So we've been doing that for 20 years plus, I guess now, and so.
That's cool.
Digging ditches for a living.
Digging ditches, still working hard, man.
Still kind of working hard, but staying active, and feel fine. My family's good, so we're a blessed bunch. So it's good.
Cool. That's cool. Well, tell Connie and everybody I say hello.
I'll do
and thank you so much for coming to the show again, man. I love you, man.
I love you too, brother. I appreciate you having me.
Thank you. If you like the video today, please comment and share it. This is 100 Yards of Football. This is our Football Legends segment with our host today, Bobby Butler, and my good teammate, Scott Case. Thank you. See you again.